Chat. Was permanent Fortnite OG a mistake by Tedesco? Lock it.
Wait, what? Fortnite wait, what? Fortnite just tweeted out a minute ago, not gonna lie, the OG season far exceeded our expectations so much that we'd like to bring it back. ... Opens 2024 roadmap, doc. In the meantime, see you on the back.
I think it's funny that the roadmap doc kind of turned into a meme because there was that huge leak that leaked the entire roadmap that season. Or not that season, but that for that whole year. So we like knew OG was coming and shit. OG 2 at least.
Battle bus. They're gonna bring it back!
Fortnite Chapter 1 has a strange reputation today. I feel like over the years it's just become more and more controversial. Fortnite obviously exploded in popularity back in 2018, and that classic version of the game is to credit for its success today, so a lot of people will tell you that was prime Fortnite, that was the golden age, that was the best chapter. But the game has evolved a lot since then, and looking back at that classic Fortnite gameplay style, some will say it's just too slow and boring. Modern Fortnite easily clears it, and you're just blinded.
You know, honestly, it is pretty slow. Old Fortnite gameplay was slow as shit.
By nostalgia. And you would think with how successful Chapter 4's OG mini-season was when Epic decided to bring it back permanently, that would just end this discussion. If you preferred the simpler Chapter 1 style of Fortnite, you would play OG. And if you didn't, you just wouldn't play it. And you'd be able to have two different audiences with different preferences, and everyone is still happy. But with the launch of this mode last year,
the OG mode, people only complain. All I ever see people complain about is OG movement, OG movement. Bro, OG movement is ass. That is literally the most blinded by nostalgia shit of all time. Like, OG movement is so bad. It's so bad. I don't know why people still choose that to complain about. Oh, but it's better. Oh. Dude. It's nostalgia. The fucking OG movement sucks dick. In my opinion. OG movement's so stupid.
And Epic's questionable management of it, it's only done more damage to the reputation of Chapter 1, and it seems like the general consensus of this mode is that people either don't care for it at all and don't even remember that it still exists, or just actively dislike it, and there's only a relatively small dedicated player base. OG got a lot.
Guys, it's gonna make a comeback. I'm telling you. Once Chapter 1, Season 7, tomorrow comes out. We're probably running that tomorrow, chat. Once that comes out, OG will be different. I've been saying this. This is the season everyone wants to relive, and we didn't really get to do that in the original OG season, because it was like a mix of the volcano coming out and that at the same time. You know, it was like a speed run. I think once Chapter 1 Season 7 comes back tomorrow, it'll be a lot better.
A lot of flack, a lot of hate.
Like, I know I'm gonna play it so much, so fucking much.
But was it justified? Maybe. Over the last year, the mode has gone through 6 full seasons. There's been highs, there's been lows, there's been very low lows, and I want to take a look back at everything to see if Epic bringing back Fortnite OG permanently was a good call or a mistake. Starting with
Season 1 was incredibly boring. It was fun to go back and play. Incredibly boring.
Okay, we got a lot of teasers and trailers leading up to Season 1.
The double pump being back was cool. Double pumping again was awesome. And then like guided missile being back was cool, I guess. What else came out this season? Like nothing, dude. It was boring. The Chapter 1 Season 1 OG was boring.
On Epic,
except when the Zapatron dropped for like 3 days. That was fun.
Was really pushing this mode, and there was a lot of hype around it and a lot of expectations that people had going into it. With the launch of the OG mode and Season 1 on December 6, 2024, we got the first OG pass, remixing classic skins from Chapter 1 Season 1, 2 of them being the original Season Shop skins that were no longer obtainable yet.
Yeah, people were mad about that. People were mad as fuck. But technically, OG Season 1 was back. It was the first season again. And it's just weird, man.
And the other one being Skull Trooper, it makes sense. They also added wind umbrellas for OG, starting with the tagged umbrella. That's neat. Now, I was kind of...
I like the OG wind umbrellas. I fuck with them. They're tough.
With this mode
especially the new one.
Launched, because on one hand, I was looking forward to it and so excited about the idea of getting to play the later seasons of Chapter 1. And on the other hand, we're starting with Season 1. I don't want to play this shit, man. Look at the map. There's like 8 locations and Dusty Depot's one of them. There's like 5 weapons in the loot pool and there's no bots.
Yeah, the no bots was so peak. Playing that Fortnite was hard again. It was fun. It felt successful when you won. But then, people bitched and whined and whined and whined. Oh, it's too hard. It's too hard. I can't ever win. It's a battle royale, motherfucker. You don't get wins handed to you. This is OG Fortnite. Bots weren't around in OG Fortnite. I had to fight tooth and nail for a win back then. Now, I get a bot lobby and win. So easy. That's the worst mistake they could have made, was re-enabling bots. I hope they disable them for next season. For the Chapter 1, Season 7.
Alright, despite the fact that we're going back to an extremely bare bones version of this game, the fact that you would queue into matches with 99 other real players made this mode so much more enjoyable. Your first win wouldn't be handed to you. It was not easy, but it made the feeling when you finally got that first win infinitely more rewarding. I feel like I don't even need to spend that much time talking about why the absence of bots in Fortnite is good, because it's really obvious. So moving on, let's talk about what the mode set out to be. We're back on Season 1.
Again, I think they should have a separate mode for bot players. For people who like the bots. I hate the bots. It just makes it so boring, and it's made my whole skill in the game go down. It's made me a worse player at Fortnite because I'm just going against clankers. It's harder to fight against a real player because of how many clankers I fight.
The loot pool is exactly the same, something that we didn't see in Chapter 4's mini-season. That season had weapons and items that loosely resembled Chapter 1's loot pool, but this was a one-to-one replica, bringing in old weapon models and icons, old stats, old sound effects, old headshot multipliers, even bringing back weapons that were removed from the files. And they did an okay job with this. They brought back the models that they really needed to, stuff like the pump shotgun and burst AR that look very different to their updated versions. They even brought back that flat PNG icon for the grenade, but then you'd have other weapons like the regular AR, tac shotgun, and pistol that still use their Chapter 2 models, and this stuff would get fixed down the line eventually. But based on how long it took, I'm not even sure if it was Epic's intention from the start. I think they just wanted to bring back the most iconic ones. And then you had situations with the bolt sniper and rocket launcher where they correctly brought back the Chapter 1 model for the blue version, but the purple and gold still used the Chapter 2 model that was completely different. Whatever. The stats are definitely the most important thing here, but when it comes to bringing back old weapon models and icons, it's a nice thing to have, and if Epic was going to put in the effort to bring back some of them, they should go all the way. Oh yeah, double pumping is back too, and they finally added the option to remove shotgun cooldown in creative 6 years later, which is something I never thought we'd see. Zero build is here with zip lines, porta bunkers, and throwable launch pads on this extremely open and empty map. It's not easy, but it's playable. The mode launched and peaked at over 1 million active players and looked to have a promising future. One fucking day. We went one full day and a couple hours without bots, but Epic had to step in and make some matchmaking improvements.
Coward.
Now, I've talked about bots in OG before. It sucks, but it's necessary with how low the player count is and how many different playlists the mode has. But enabling bots on day fucking 2 when you have 1 million active real players? What are we doing? Season 1 isn't good. The fact that this mode offered no bots was like the only redeeming quality at this point. This decision left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths and kind of tarnished the reputation of the mode. Coupled with this boring map and the fact that the mode has to compete with Chapter 6 Season 1, which had a really solid launch, players just quit. What else was there to look forward to for the rest of Season 1? Holy shit. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this. Gameplay in Fortnite is so much more important than the cosmetics, but it was kind of crazy to see these sought-after skins that were thought to be exclusive for 7 years finally return, and I just want to say, Don't buy the Renegade skin if you respect the OGs. It's more than just a skin, it's a sim ranked is here in 0 build 2. Why? OG Season 1 would last for nearly 2 months, 56 days to be exact, even longer than the original Season 1. And if there's any takeaway here, it's how important first impressions are. People logged on, played a few games, realized how incredibly boring it was, and decided to wait for future OG seasons or just drop the mode entirely. Epic also messed up adding in multiple weapons that straight up never existed in Chapter 1, like we've got a purple suppressed SMG now. It doesn't even follow the stats of the Season 1 version. It uses the modern stats with higher damage, a completely different fire rate, and headshot multiplier. Remember that I said this, but towards the end of January, Epic started teasing OG Season 2, and it seems like people were excited to return to the mode.
Yeah. Tilted was back. People love Tilted.
Tilted towers. Oh, thank God. Shifty shafts. Oh, thank God. More landmarks around the map. Oh, thank God. An actual swamp biome instead of whatever the hell this was. Oh, thank God. Mini shields. Oh, thank God.
Oh, yeah.
This is still boring. Look, Season 2 has a really solid map, and honestly, if you gave me the choice of playing on the Chapter 1 Season 2 map versus some of the more recent Battle Royale maps we've had, I'm probably picking this one. But a good map means nothing without a good loot pool. We're literally still on the Season 1 loot pool. They just added minis, which, yeah, the lack of shields was actually an annoyance with Season 1, and this helps out a lot, but there's still like 5 weapons to choose from. What the fuck is that thing doing here? Okay, before we get into the extremely scuffed launch of OG Season 2, we have a new OG pass. Sparkle Diva follows the tradition of having a female skin with a crop top. Not the biggest fan of this one personally, but if you missed out on the original Sparkle Specialist or Sparkle Supreme from Season X, this is a pretty solid alternative. And oh yeah, if you missed out on any of these OG pass skins, these could still return to the shop at some point. Code Tedesco, by the way. We've got whatever this abomination is, and Night Conqueror. They actually made a good Black Knight remix, and it might even be better than the original version.
That was a peak.
They are cooking with these OG passes. Dragonheart Umbrella. Okay, the Season 1 umbrella just being the original umbrella with the dog tag spray was a nice callback to Chapter 1 and simpler times, but I didn't think each season's win umbrella would just be the same one with a different PNG on it. Hopping into a match of OG Season 2, you might notice the grass is a bit different. You also might not notice it, and if you're on lower graphic settings, you will not notice it. You won't even see the grass at all. I feel like I have to talk about this. With Season 2's launch, Epic updated the grass to use the Chapter 5 grass rather than the Chapter 1 grass, and there's a super technical explanation for this. I reached out to AliJax on Twitter. If you guys play OG, you probably already know who he is, but he's a super experienced modder slash data miner with Fortnite. He's basically the Fortnite OG guy and partially responsible for a lot of the improvements we've seen in the mode. I'll post the full message on screen, but to sum it up, Epic changed the way the grass system worked with the launch of Chapter 5, so that meant that Chapter 1's grass code from 2018 wasn't compatible and just completely broke, which was noticeable in some screenshots or videos on certain graphic settings, and definitely apparent when you look at comparisons side by side, but not something I really paid attention to. Is this game breaking? No. Do I care about it? Not really. Should Epic fix it? Yes, and it's kind of concerning how long it took them to do so, especially when you have a Chapter 1 based reload map using the Chapter 1 grass or a modified version of it in-game at the same time. And why Epic just didn't use the reload grass and why it took them 2 whole seasons to fix this, that we don't know. But shout out to AliJax for this information. You'll hear more about him later in the video. I don't think the grass itself was the issue here. I think it was the discussion surrounding it that frustrated a lot of people, and the principle of Epic messing something up, acknowledging it, and taking 4 months to fix it. Guys, we're not talking about Epic adding a brand new feature that brought in unexpected bugs. We're talking about Epic bringing back an old map that they already made, the simplest map they've ever made, by the way, with a spin-off version of it currently being supported in Reload. But instead of the community just agreeing that Epic messed up and they should fix it, it turned into, oh my god, OG players complain about the smallest things, do they ever stop crying, bro?
Last time I mentioned the grass, I got a genuine comment from someone that said they clicked off of the video as soon as I brought it up.
What, the grass? We're not even on the same engine anymore, bro. Who the fuck cares? Genuinely, if you were focused on getting loot and fighting other players, you would not care about how different the grass looks, bro.
So you've got this mode with a steadily declining player count due to the lackluster gameplay of the earlier Chapter 1 seasons, and now you've got the dedicated OG players getting a bad rep too because they want the mode to be fixed.
That makes sense to me.
Remember when I said Epic added a purple version of the suppressed SMG at the end of Season 1 with the wrong stats? Well, instead of just faulting the gun, they went out of their way to tweak the stats to be more in line with the Chapter 1 version and added a gold variant too? Epic, these guns never existed. Now, they did fix this shortly following the launch of the season. They also added a gold tactical SMG that they left in for the entirety of the season. This gun never existed until Season X, by the way. Epic also decided to add a bunch of rifts to Zero Build and make them all infinite, which just gives everyone a get out of jail free card if they don't want to take a fight. I really don't like and don't even understand this change. There were so many rifts and they were all infinite use, but I guess if you played build mode it wasn't an issue. So with this underwhelming launch of OG Season 2, Epic had to stop and ask themselves, how can we make the game more boring? Modern storm circles. In Chapter 4 Season 2, the storm was basically overhauled. It has more phases, the earlier game zones are larger, and it does way less damage, ticking for 1 HP for multiple zones. Now, while I'm not a fan of this change in Battle Royale, I can see why it was made. There's a lot more stuff to do during the match now, and more mid-game objectives, so it makes sense to give players more time and to have the storm be less punishing for the first half of the match. Chapter 1 didn't have any of this. I have no idea why this was implemented. One like and the Zapatron comes to OG tomorrow. Man, I remember back in Chapter 1, Ali could throw the Zapatron in his thumbnail and the video was guaranteed to get 1 million views, but now, who cares?
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery around this super cool gun that was added to the game only for 30 minutes back in the preseason, and that random French guy on YouTube is the only guy who got gameplay of it. But I don't know, man. The novelty just wore off. They took way too long, and it would have made more sense to bring it back in OG Season 1, but it's cool they put in the effort to re-add it to the game and put it in creative. Rank Zero Build got axed. Good riddance. As a Zero Build player, this playlist made no sense. The rest of Season 2's loot pool would slowly get added, definitely making the game more enjoyable. No, not you. But again, the impression that this mode left on people within the first 2 seasons was pretty damaging. Slow gameplay, questionable changes, straight up incorrect additions, and the fan base that wants Epic to fix the problems with the mode are seen as annoying by the community. Maybe they could mend some of these issues with Season 3.
It's fucking, like, I deadass don't understand.
So we've got a new OG.
Why is your biggest complaint grass? Like, shut up.
Skins like, but you've got
yes, this should be your complaint.
Shit.
This should be your complaint. The crop top problem on the OG passes.
Not for the right reason. Look, I understand people only want this to have remixes of Battle Pass skins since they're exclusive, and yeah, the OG Pass is a really good opportunity for Epic to make those, but they could just remix old Battle Pass skins and sell them in the shop whenever they want. Like, just because we didn't get a Dark Voyager remix for OG Season 3 doesn't mean we'll never get a Dark Voyager remix. Hey, look at that. Now, looking at what we actually got, remixes of Power Chord, Rex, and Raven, some iconic item shop skins from Season 3. These still suck. Maybe the Power Chord one is okay, but I think the Drop D item shop skin is much more faithful to the original design. Why the fuck is Rex a robot? And Raven, you're just doing too much, bro. Now, moving on to gameplay, we got our first LTM on the OG mode, 50v50. I don't have much to say about this. I'm not really too crazy about LTMs anymore in general, but when it first released, there were no bots, but of course Epic couldn't let that slide, so they were swiftly added. Ziplines and Ascenders were added to build mode. Some people didn't like this change because it's not OG, but I don't see the issue with it. Fuck. Season 3 kicked off with a handful of new additions on day 1. We've got the hand cannon, hunting rifle, guided missile re-added to the game and put in creative too, llamas, vending machines, and of course Season 3's only map change.
Oh, Rocky Randy.
It's immersive! It's in my favor!
With Chapter 4's OG season, they did have vending machines, but only in build mode, as there's obviously no materials in Zero Build, but they decided to do something interesting here. Zero Build got vending machines and materials. No, you can't build with said materials, they're just for buying items from the vending machines, which makes them stronger in Zero Build. Like, the drawback of using materials as a currency is that it's a valuable resource that you can use during the game, but you can choose to sacrifice it to upgrade your loadout, whereas in Zero Build, there's just no consequences, and the prices are relatively cheap. They also changed how traps work in Zero Build. I guess I should bring this up now, but you've always been able to use them since the launch of OG Zero Build, but only on pre-built structures on the map. Now, if you get a launch pad, you can place it on the terrain too, and it'll just automatically place a wooden floor underneath. How it took them this long to come up with that, I don't know. Can traps become an actual part of the game in Battle Royale now? They were kind of slowly phased out after the introduction of Zero Build, but there's really no reason not to have them as a core addition anymore. Ranked build mode got axed as well. That playlist could have worked, but it was just way too early in Chapter 1 to have a competitive mode. I think it would have made sense to reintroduce Arena closer to its original launch back in Season 8. Now, since Epic added a bunch of items and features with the launch of Season 3, it had me wondering, how is the rest of the season gonna play out? There's only 5 more items to bring back over the course of the next 10.5 weeks. Again, another OG season that is longer than its original season, and they really don't have a lot of content to keep it fresh throughout. A few weeks go by, and at this point, I'm convinced Epic just forgot that they have to oh, there it is. All the rest of Season 3's content added with
Yeah,
just
they
one
added it all at
update
once.
that we'll call the B-side update, since that's how they refer to the quests. You have the A-side quests available on launch, and B-side quests drop in the middle of the season with the big update. And now we wait until the end of the season. Okay, look, this was a great update. This is when I decided to come back to OG and played a lot more due to how fun the loot pool was, but I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure out that it would have been way better to spread this content out over the course of the season. But I guess that would have taken more time. It would have taken them 5 minutes to schedule multiple hotfixes to go out, as opposed to 1 minute to just throw everything in all at once. And they weren't even able to get it right. In 2018 Season 3, the pump and tac shotguns had their rarities changed. No stat changes at all, just the pump shotguns were upgraded 1 rarity and the tac shotguns downgraded. With OG Season 3, we got a blue pump, and instead of taking the stats of the old green one, it's just a new weapon, and now we have gray, green, and the blue pumps, and they straight up just vaulted the purple tac and never added the gray one. Again, I still enjoyed Season 3. This stuff is not the end of the world, but it's just sad how Epic can mess up the easiest things. This is probably one of the lowest effort changes. You don't even need to make new weapons, you just need to shift rarities, and they couldn't even manage that. With this season lasting 2.5 months, and Season 1 also being extremely bare bones and lasting 2 months, you had a lot of people saying that OG seasons should have just been 1 month long each. And yeah, that's a fun, cute solution on paper, but in practice that's not happening. The whole point of the OG pass is to bring some attention to the mode and generate sales from it, and they're not going to pump out OG passes every month. Now, should they have just started the OG mode off with Season 3? Yeah, probably. But with the meteor approaching the island and small pieces raining down on it, we were ready to go into...
yeah, Season 4. Season 4, I thought there'd be a comeback.
One of my favorite seasons and one of the all-time greats of Chapter 1. The OG Pass brings remixes of all exclusive skins. This time, we've got Omega, Technique, and even the Visitor. Omega sports this silver chromatic color scheme for his base style, but I'm sure his alternate version is going to be like the classic Omega skin. The Visitor is interesting. I'm not nearly as educated on the Fortnite lore as I once was, but apparently there's some alternate timeline implications here that could tie into the main Battle Royale story. I don't care, I just want to play Chapter 1. This season launched on the exact same day as Chapter 6 Season 3, meaning it got a lot less attention from Epic on social media.
I don't know
and
why.
less people even wanting to play it when they could be trying
they
out the
need to stop dropping
Battle Royale
OG
content.
seasons.
And I personally speculate that on top of people forgetting
seasons
about the mode entirely from trying it out in Season 1 or 2 and not being a fan, there was also a FOMO element at play here. Like, why should someone spend their time on Fortnite replaying a 6-year-old fairly simple season when they could be playing with the new Chapter 6 stuff before it leaves? But OG Season 4 was actually really fun and one of the best handled OG seasons yet. With the launch, we got the purple and gold bursts, the thermal scoped AR, shopping carts, the suppressed and tactical SMGs got buffs to their Season 4 stats that absolutely shredded, Dusty Divot, Risky Reels, the Moisty Mire film set, and all the meteor sites around the map with hop rocks. Oh, and they did try to fix the tac shotgun. They just brought back the purple version again, then they added the gray one and tried to vault the purple one, but they left it in vending machines the entire season. Epic was set on just having one big B-side update in the middle of the season instead of spreading out the content, but it was a little more bearable now as there was more to look forward to every other week with new game patches, since the Chapter 1 map is now rapidly evolving, with Dusty Divot turning into a facility to inspect and extract the meteor as foliage grows around it, the other meteor crash sites start to get patched up, and Tilted starts construction on a new building. Season 4's B-side update brought us the dual pistols, the stink bomb, jetpack, bouncers, and the infamous drum gun alongside the close encounters LTM. And man, I absolutely love bouncers. They are so fun, and now I can use them in zero build. Holy shit. Sometimes you can't tell what's a mistake and what's intentionally different with the OG mode, but this change to bouncers has to be intended, right? I don't see how they could accidentally mess this up, especially since this item hasn't had any changes since its introduction, but I am rocking with this new version, especially in zero build. I feel like I can free up an inventory slot now. I'm not obligated to carry bunkers or impulses, as bouncers are just the better option. They don't even take up inventory space. On top of the game being really fun at this point, Epic started making an actual effort to fix some of the issues with the mode. The grass was fixed in the beginning of the season. All weapon models and icons now use their original versions except the FAMAS. Storms were changed. They weren't fully reverted to the Chapter 1 system, but the new ones were definitely better and helped with pacing. Several weapons got stat changes as a result of AliJax's thread on Twitter, and we got the introduction of an expert mode. 70 players, no bots. To start, only available in build mode duos. Why are we doing this? Yeah, let's make a separate option called Expert that will definitely deter people from selecting it. Be vague and not really describe what the mode is. You have to go to leakers' Twitter pages to find out what Expert matchmaking actually means, and if there's not enough players to start the match, just backfill it with bots. Yeah, Epic added a mode specifically for no bots, but if there aren't enough players queuing up, they add the one thing that the mode was not supposed to have. It's a nice gesture, it's a nice idea, but yeah, there just aren't enough people playing OG in general, and definitely not enough people selecting the Expert option. I think if we ever see OG bringing in hundreds of thousands of active players again, that's when you bring in Expert mode. And don't sugarcoat it, literally just call it no bots. Season 4 had the first ever live event being the rocket launch, and they brought it back for OG. The blast off event played out exactly the same as it did in 2018, but now the giant crack in the sky was red instead of the regular blue rift color. Not really sure what that means, and I doubt it'll have any effect on later OG seasons. With a bunch of anomalies occurring on the map, we head into I just gotta say, man, I love these key arts they've been doing for each OG season. Season 1 and 2 had nice callbacks to old promotional art. Season 3 and 4 look amazing and showcase some of the biggest parts of those seasons. And Season 5...
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Yeah, they couldn't even be bothered to make one. Again, launching on the same day as a new Battle Royale season, OG Season 5 was kind of overshadowed and didn't even get the love from Epic Games to get a key art. Checking out the OG pass, we've got a new Sunstrider, Redline, and Drift, and just like Omega's remix, the new Drift doesn't even have a style to match the original version's color scheme, and you can't even take the mask off this guy. Season 5's launch brought us the new SMGs, double barrel shotgun, Rift to go, shockwave grenades, ATKs, the desert biome, lazy links, a Viking village, and the overgrown dusty divot. Really solid update. Technically, we did experience Season 5 back in Chapter 4's OG mini season, but this was a lot more faithful. Epic added the Expert option for zero build solo, and I was pretty happy about this and got a few matches facing only real players, but after a few days, I started to encounter bots in the mode, and it was literally the same as regular solos, just with 70 players instead of 100, and eventually the Expert options were completely removed. Shortly after OG Season 5's release, AliJax would make a thread on Twitter documenting everything wrong with the mode, from incorrect weapon stats to in-game lighting. Now, he didn't just list all of OG's inconsistencies and bugs. He wrote 1,000 lines of string for Epic developers to just copy and paste and hotfix in to fix majority of the issues. Now, I gotta say,
his dedication, like, they need to hire him. They need to hire him. Because he is dedicated, more dedicated than anyone on that Epic team to fixing the OG mode.
This is incredible work.
AliJax.
But I feel like this did a little bit of damage to OG's mode and the reputation of its player base. Everything AliJax listed here should have been fixed. It shouldn't have even been a discussion. They royally fucked up with the burst AR, and it has insane recoil that it never had in Chapter 1. But then there's smaller issues like the tac shotgun doing 2 extra structure damage, stuff that you probably won't ever notice in game, but contributes to this long list of issues and inconsistencies, and just gives people the impression of, oh yeah, OG, that mode's a buggy mess, I'm not gonna play that.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
When the reality is, like, it's still fun. Maybe not if you're looking at it from the lens of being accurate to Chapter 1, but I think just playing this mode casually is a good time.
Yeah,
it's sad that it's been so horribly managed, and it's sad that you need Twitter users to do Epic's job for them, but it's gotten to the point where this might forever be the reputation of this mode, despite the gameplay still being good. Now, obviously, no offense to AliJax, it's Epic's fault that the mode even got to this point in the first place, but this whole situation existing at all brought a lot of negativity to OG. Fortnite actually responded to AliJax's thread on the Fortnite status account to assure us that they're listening, and they very, very slowly over the course of the next few months fixed some of the sound effects, models, stats, and lighting issues, but that's not important. You guys wanted to play with the Zapatron again, right? Well, get excited because it's back for a wacky weekend with low gravity. Why are we doing this? I'm not opposed to Epic doing some things differently to shake up OG and make it more interesting for today's standards, but if you're gonna bring back the Zapatron,
it's an interesting mode.
Why not do it for Season X? A season themed around time travel and corruption, craziness, and homage to Fortnite's past. Why is it back again? An actual cool change with OG Season 5 is that the Starry Suburbs ruins stayed on the map. This was originally replaced with a soccer stadium to coincide with 2018's World Cup, but since that didn't return this time around, we got to keep the ruined castle castles. And remember that gas station from the lobby background that never actually existed in-game? Well, it's here now, in Paradise Palms. That's really cool. They also added the slurp cactus from Chapter 5's Wasteland all over the Chapter 1 desert. This is definitely one of the more noticeable gameplay changes they decided to make with OG, but I think making Shield more accessible is fine. This is probably the only good feature.
People really just hate anything that's not exactly the same in that community, and that's what like fucks it up. Like, I like the mode. I like that they're making changes. I like that it's different. I like that it's not the fucking same. Because the same thing, knowing exactly what's gonna happen, makes it boring.
To come out of Wrecked, so let's just hope Epic doesn't add anything else from that season. Also, the cube is red. Yeah, we could have expected this from the red rift. I'm not too caught up on the color of it. The purple cube definitely just... I mean, this might sound corny, but it has more aura, okay? The red one grants the pepper speed effect, which is cool, and since Epic is obsessed with rifts in OG, and having infinite rifts all over the map wasn't enough, shooting the red cube would rift you up in the sky, because of course it would. The Season 5's B-side update would bring us the suppressed AR, heavy sniper, grapplers, the porta fortress, and later the drum gun would hit the vault. Fortnite was also celebrating its 8th birthday during September, which lined up with the first birthday celebration back in July of 2018 during Season 5. Really good timing here. Birthday cakes got added around the map and even sported the one candle, and they did add presents and balloons earlier than they were introduced in Chapter 1, but I don't care, that's fine. Would have been a perfect opportunity to finally add Birthday Brigade Ramirez as a skin in the item shop. I'm still waiting on that. The cube made its way to Loot Lake, and it's still red. Lean Lake, Thanos Lake, whatever you called it, is not returning. It's not even nearly as bouncy and still gives you the pepper effect. Oh, and we're getting freakishly close to Season 6, and there hasn't been a single
Yeah, it was period blood
yeah,
lake.
so I've been doing title cards for each season with clips from the trailer, but we didn't get a trailer for Season 6. We didn't get key art again. There were no...
It was crazy. They were really fumbling here. I think they know they need to make a comeback for Season 7. And, like, they're hard promoting it now.
No teasers for the season. They didn't even put out a blog post this time around. They didn't say a word for this season's launch. And why are you blue? Okay, now it's purple. Better than nothing, I guess. Yeah, I'd like to think that this was the exact moment when Epic gave up on this mode, which is really sad because they could have turned things around here. The later half of Chapter 1, while still having simple gameplay at its core, has a lot more to offer and genuinely could compete with Battle Royale if Epic actually gave a shit. For the OG Season 6 pass, we've got Remixed Calamity, Dire.
Again, the crop top skin issue, bro. That's not happening in the new season. Like, Season 7 OG is gonna be fucking amazing.
Yon Darth.
It better be. Happy Hamlet's my favorite location, guys. It better be good.
3,000? Look, besides that one, they actually did a solid job with Calamity and Dire and added more customization options than I thought they would. Hopping in game and the cube is purple again. Okay, there could have been a better way to do this where you have the red cube sink into Loot Lake and over the course of a week or whatever, slowly change color into purple. I'm glad
I thought that's what would have
happened. The purple
happened.
cube, but this just made no sense. The Shadow Stones are actually red this time around and I am so excited to try them again. Havoc Stones, they give you the...
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't give you the shadow effect. That was a stupid change. Adding Nitro back. No one likes Nitro. This is known.
Nitro effect. Oh man. You know, out of all the Chapter 1 features that haven't been in-game in such a long time, I was really looking forward to the return of Shadow Stones and combining them with the Cube Geysers for crazy distance, but unfortunately Epic hates us. They really scuffed the launch of this season. Not just the fact that they couldn't be bothered to promote it or make a trailer or take a screenshot for the lobby, they just like messed up a bunch of buildings on the map randomly. And how does this stuff even happen? Now again, all of the inconsistencies became the biggest talking point of the OG mode, but actually playing Season 6, yeah, I still think the moment-to-moment gameplay is fun. I'd say the biggest gripe I have is that there's no bouncers, which did get removed in the original Season 6, and I also wasn't happy when they were vaulted in 2018. I love bouncers, man. They added the 6-shooter, quad launcher, fiend hunter crossbow, balloons, and the chiller trap, and my god, some of those are useless, but the loot pool is generally still solid, and we've got the heavy AR and purple and gold pump shotguns to look forward to. Back in Season 4, I mentioned Epic changed the storms to be a little more similar to the Chapter 1 values, but now we're fully back to the Chapter 1 storms, so thank you, Epic, for fixing the problem that you created. The Fortnite Status Twitter account addressed the issues with Season 6's launch, and let us know if they're listening. I'm starting to see a pattern. The double pump finally got removed as they added shotgun cooldown, something that was supposed to happen with the launch of Season 5, but they said they intentionally left it in longer. Also with Season 5, I guess we were supposed to get the updated Victory Royale banner, but I'm actually on board with them just keeping the original. They brought back quad crashers, noting that they were supposed to be able to fly, but that didn't work. So they updated the vehicle so technically it can fly, but it works way different to how it did back in Chapter 1, and then the flying broke again. Fortnite finally acknowledges the existence of...
I don't know how they fucked it up, but like they should have saved that glitch, man.
Of OG Season 6 on their main Twitter account with some screenshots, and we head into the Fortnitemares event that they also didn't promote or communicate at all.
They didn't promote the Fortnitemares event one bit, and that's like, it's sad, because the Fortnitemares event in OG, that's a great Fortnitemares, and they just didn't promote
exploded. The cube is cracking, and there are cube monsters on the map. They're not all
over
over the
cracking. Cracking who?
The map, like in 2018, they're restricted to the corrupted zones this time, and honestly, great change. They added the heavy AR and new pumps as loot you can get from the zombies ahead of the B-side update. Not sure if that's intentional, but whatever. And then we got dynamite and mounted turrets later on. The official Fortnite Twitter will finally acknowledge OG Season 6 for the second time ever to promote the butterfly event. The purple cube explodes and we see the red cube in the in-between area. No idea what this means for the story, but I think it means something. And then we get the best version of Loot Lake after the event ends. With the final version of the Season 6 map and loot pool, the game is so fun, and those infinite rifts that myself and what seems like a large portion of the community despises were finally removed, and now they're all one-use rifts. Now, OG Season 6 was originally supposed to end on November 29th, but got delayed until December 11th, but all the content from Season 6 was added, and now we just have a few weeks until the season's over. They fucking
used the Joel Bart clip.
Murdered the bus driver and the OG mode. I get chapter launches are a big deal, but I can't get behind this decision at all to take modes offline to coincide with the deal.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't know why they took other modes just completely out of the game. That's so strange to me.
But I can't get behind this decision at all to take modes offline to coincide with the lore. So this brings us to December 6th, 2025, 1 full year since the launch of this mode, and while it's unavailable, we're waiting for OG Season 7 next week. I do wish OG got the care it deserved and Epic developers that actually knew what they were doing, and while there has been a lot of letdowns along the way, I'd say the last 3 seasons have been a blast gameplay-wise, and I'm seriously looking forward to the launch of Season 7. But was Fortnite OG a mistake? Play-wise, and I'm seriously looking forward to the launch of...
That umbrella looks goated. The Infinity Blade will be back. Guys, Happy Hamlet returns. Boom boxes. I love boom boxes. Scoped revolver. Suppressed sniper. Scoped AR. Dual pistols. This shit's gonna be amazing. Playing the fuck out of it tomorrow.
Season 7. But was Fortnite OG a mistake?
I'm playing the fuck out of
bad reputation it's gotten over the last year, Epic still delivered a battle royale experience completely different to what we had in Chapter 6 and served as a great alternative. We have OG passes for each season to make it profitable for Epic, and I think if they lock in with the management of the mode and the promotion of it, especially going into the later fan favorite Chapter 1 seasons, it might be able to...
Yeah, Chapter 7 is gotta be the most popular season Fortnite has ever had. Since like Chapter 2 Season 2, Chapter 2 Season 3. Those are probably the most popular just because of COVID.
Bring back a lot of players again. At least until Season X. If the mechs come back with their original stats, we will not be playing that shit.
Alright, shout out to Tedesco here. W guy here. Here, let's leave a sub. And then we'll like that video. WVid. Alright. Let's get into another one, chat.